Now, understanding the fingerboard on the ukulele, okay, is one of the important steps that we're going to have to do in order to play this instrument. Now, the fingerboard, just a reminder from the other video here, right? The fingerboard is this part on the neck, which contains the frets, which are going to tell me where to put my fingers. Now, just like on a piano, when we talked about half steps and whole steps and that stuff, half steps are one key over on the keyboard of the piano. Okay, so for example, C to C sharp is a half step. C sharp to D is another half step. D to D sharp is a half step. D sharp to E is a half step. E to F is a half step, and so on. The same pattern plays out on the ukulele fingerboard with these frets. Okay, each fret is a half step going upwards. So for example, right, we have 4 strings here on the ukulele, right? We have a G string because it's tuned to the note G, a C string, which is string number 3, E, okay, and an A. Okay, so G, C, E, A. Now, as I add fingers, right, we're just going up half step by half step above that bass string note, okay? Whatever that open string is, right? If I don't put anything down and I play the A string, what I get is an A, okay? Now, if I put my finger on the A string and I put it on the first fret here, I'm going to think a half step up. So that wouldn't be A anymore. It would be A sharp, right? So here's the open string, A. First fret would be A sharp, a half step above. Okay. Now, if I put my finger on the second fret, we think up another half step, which would be B. Okay. And the next one would be C. And the next one would be C sharp. Okay. And the next one would be D. Then D sharp. Then E. Then F. Then F sharp. G. G sharp. And then A on the last fret. Okay. Now this plays out on all of the strings of the ukulele. The only thing that changes is what note we're starting from, because it's all dependent on what the open string is. So if this one, let's do the G string, which is our 4th string here. Okay, so if we start, the open string is G. Okay, now let's do the first fret. There'd be a half step above the open string, which would be G sharp, right? 1 half step up. Okay, next one would be a half step above that, or an A, then A sharp, then B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, G, F sharp rather, and then G. Okay, so each fret is a half step, just like each key that we move is what we call a half step, right? C to C sharp is a half step, C sharp to D is a half step, right? And so on. And that's how we read the frets and the fingerboard on the ukulele.